Hey guys, it's PonkyPlays and welcome to a Raid Shadow Legends video. So today I'm going to be doing a champion spotlight video where I'm going to be talking about uh, Arbiter specifically today and go through her kit, tell you guys where I feel like she's best in, show her build that I've got, and maybe show a few runs in certain areas so that you guys can get a look of what or how I use her, I guess. I'm going to be showing my personal opinions of changes that I would recommend for Arbiter if I was, to be able to do a champion rebalance on her, because that's something that I'm very passionate about, very into, looking at people's kits and seeing where I feel like they're lacking and where they could be improved on. And who knows, maybe if a Plarium um, developer is watching, they might get inspiration from this and actually, make the changes happen. Um, but yeah, without further ado, let's take you through Arbiter. So, um, her A1 is a double hitter skill. Each hit has a 30% chance of placing the big version of Weaken, and that goes up to 50% chance when booked. And then her A2 attacks all enemies one time, has a 75% chance, going up to 100% chance of decreasing the duration of all enemy buffs by one turn, and that's on a 4-turn cooldown. And then her A3 places increased attack buff on all allies for 2 turns, then fills the turn meter of all allies by 30%, and heals all allies by 25% of their max HP if they have less than 50% HP. So a very good setup skill in like Arena or multiple other places in the game for your attack damage nukers. And then her A4 revives all dead allies to 30% HP, then fills the turn meter of all allies by 20%, and grants an extra turn if an ally was successfully revived. And then she also has a 30% speed aura in arena battles by 30%. So a decent support. That's a really good, setup for your attack nukers, especially in arena. For Arbiter, hopefully a lot of you get her earlier than later in the game. She, I would say, is very useful in most areas of the game until like late mid game to early end game, I would say. And then after that, you probably will have better champions for specific areas. I think end game wise, she's probably best in arena and maybe in Bommel as a like bomb setup champion for mostly Nishak. But other than that, I feel like again she's probably gonna be outshined by some other champions in the end game in other areas. Now, I guess I'll go quickly into the part where I suggest what I would do if I was to rebalance her. So since this is the first video I'm going into this, I'll let you guys know really quickly what my how I base my decisions on. So I feel like for the most part, legendary and mythical champions should have something going on each turn that they take, whether it be from a passive skill or whether it's because each skill they have has a 100% chance of placing something, or because their kit synchronizes really well with the rest of their kit, so it just is always doing something in that regard. For example, I guess I'll go to Sulfurion. His A2 is placing burns on the enemies on top of doing a lot of other stuff, but then his A1 fills his own turn meter by 15%, and then as long as he's attacking somebody under a burn, he's also increasing the turn meter of all other allies. So with Helm, he also has a revival skill, so every time he takes a turn, as long as he's not being controlled by the enemy, he can revive somebody. He's placing burns out there. Obviously, there's a 3% chance of being resisted, but as long as you build him with the accuracy and you're not taking that resistance into account, he's most likely going to be placing that burn out there, and then even if he is attacking somebody not under a burn, he's increasing his own turn meter, and then if he attacks somebody under a burn, he's increasing the turn meter of all allies as well. So a very good synchronized kit where every time he takes a turn, something's going to happen. A good example of like a passive skill would be Morrigan, where regardless of what she's doing, every time she takes a turn, she's placing heal reduction on the ally with the lowest HP that can be removed. So she's always going to have something happening, and as long as she's got enough accuracy, it should be placed, right? So that's kind of where I'm looking at and the way I'm going about the rebalances that I would recommend. So for Arbiter herself, I would say the A4 skill, they should just get rid of the extra turn conditionality. So she should always just grant an extra turn, because a lot of the time, especially when you're not using her in arena, she's using this skill when there's no allies dead, and having a 5-turn cooldown skill that all it's doing is a 20% turn meter fill is not even that good. It's pretty bad for a legendary champion especially. And if you take into account just the revive by itself without the extra turn, it's not necessarily a very powerful AoE revive. So it should just always have that extra turn available regardless of whether she revives somebody or not. The A3, what I would change is also that conditionality, and then I would make it so that the heal right now, it's based on allies' HP. I will make it so that it's based on her own HP. Because right now, an increased attack and a 30% turn meter boost is not bad, but it's not a crazy powerful skill, especially for a legendary when you've got other champions like Seekers, like the first one that comes into my mind, who is doing both of those things and getting an extra turn on top of that, and that's on an epic champion. So I feel like this should just always happen, the heal, and it should be based on her own HP. If that was to change, then that would make this skill a lot more usable in multiple areas of the game. And then her A2, I want to say that that's probably her weakest skill. The fact that she's doing the decreased duration of enemy buffs by 1 turn on a 4-turn cooldown is one of the worst from all of the champions I've seen. There might be like 2 or 3 that are worse than that, but for a legendary void champion to have that on a 4-turn cooldown is pretty underwhelming. So I would change this to a 3-turn cooldown. I would make it so that she's decreasing the duration of enemy buffs by 2 turns at the very least. And then also I would add, because when you look at most people that have decreased duration of enemy buff skills, they also have something else attached to it. So I would also add being able to increase the duration of enemy buff or debuffs by 1 turn. So she's hopefully removing all their buffs, and then if they have any debuffs on, they'll also have that increased by 1 turn. I feel like that would be a good level for her A2 to be at. And then for her A1, I would make it so that the weekend starts out at a 45% chance that goes up to a 65% chance, and then add to it that if she's attacking an enemy under no buffs, the chance goes up to 100% chance. And then that way it works with her kit, because she should be removing buffs from enemies with her buff reduction. And then make it so that basically every time she's taking a turn, she's doing something other than damage when her kit is not, or her whole thing is not about dealing damage. She's a support champion, right? So Let me know if you guys think that those are good changes, what you guys would do differently. But yeah, now I'll show you really quickly what my masteries are on her. Um, since I feel like she's best in arena for endgame, this is what I would recommend for her arena wise. If you're using her in boss contents and stuff, then maybe go offense and go for War Master. But otherwise, this isn't necessarily the best masteries, but it's a way to go. You can go with a resistance like I went here, or you can go with a defense, which I would probably change it to that, but I don't necessarily want to use up my gems right now for it. Um, Doing the less damage when hit with a crit though is pretty good, especially in arena, although the AoE damage is also very, very solid. And then the Shadow Heal is a very good one to go with. If you don't have her with Crazy Resistance, then Resurgent is really good in order to remove some debuffs. Delay Death is always great. And then, since she's a turn meter champion, being able to get extra turn meter is always good for her. I went Accuracy on her. You can always go a little bit more HP as well. And then she gets HP when an enemy is killed, turn meter when her buffs are removed or expired. Lore of Steel is really good on her, depending on what sets you have on her. Sniper is good for the extra chance of placing the weekend. Extra speed when there are dead allies. And then more turn meter stuff. Like, this is really what you want to base her on, is the more speed, the more turn meter that she can get, the better for you. And then, so for sure, I would probably go, unless you want to go for extra accuracy or resistance, but I feel like this timely intervention is probably the best skill for her as the final mastery. And then I went with the journal. I don't have really great relics on my account, but this is the one that I felt was the best at the moment. So she's gaining more turn meter increase on the allies, and when she heals as well, she's doing a little bit extra heal on them. So it's a really good one. And then this relic, turn meter increase effects are 10% more effective on her, so she's even more turn meter. And then I went Polymorph because Polymorph is good in arena. You can go with a few different stuff. You could do Intimidating Presence is really good for her. You can go Temporal Chains isn't too bad for arena as well. Survival Instinct, if you don't have her with really good resistance, then every time she gets a debuff, she's gonna get more turn meter. Probably the ones I would go for, unless you are in, like, you're using her more in boss content, and then I would probably go Brimstone. But other than that, this is about it. I have her with Supersonic Gear because I think that's the best one for her, just making her get the most out of her turn meter fills. I wasn't able to put her with a full 9-piece set because I was missing an amulet, but if you can get her to a 9-piece, then she's increasing the turn meter effects even more, which is phenomenal. But if you don't have the supersonic gear, then just go with any set that can give her more speed, because again, her main focus is going to be to get the speed as high as possible, which I was only able to get it to 353. I'm trying to get better gear for speed specifically because I've got good bulk gear and damage gear, but I don't have great speed gear, so this is the best I could get her, especially for like a supersonic build. As you can see right now, I have her with a crit damage gauntlet, but it had a triple rolling speed, and then I have her with an accuracy chest blade with a double rolling speed, which the accuracy chest blade is not bad, but getting her bulky would probably be more ideal. So right now I have her looking at almost 70,000 HP, 2,900 or defense, 3,200 attack, but she's not necessarily there for damage, 353 speed. Again, she's not there for damage, but because she does have high crit damage, sometimes her damage might help take care of somebody. Then 262 resistance, which having her with high resistance is not bad either. 450 accuracy, which also having higher accuracy would not be bad. But the way her kit is at the moment, it's not the most essential, but it is helpful. So yeah, I'll go ahead and go into Arena and show you guys some Arena runs. So I'll see you guys in a little bit. Okay, so here we are in Arena. I'm just gonna find a team really quickly. We can maybe go, because we could go for something like this. The only problem is that it's very possible that their Arbiter is faster than mine. So with something like this, I would probably recommend going for somebody that can protect your team really well. So the best one I have is Mariska, who's incredible. Maybe change, I don't know, like this is pretty decent against their team. I could change Mikage for Ramontu, who's a really good stripper. But with Arbiter, since she's going to be doing the turn meter fill and increase attack, you probably are going to want to build a go first team, which most of the time you're going to want somebody that can strip enemy buffs, especially in case they have stone skin. You might want a control champion in case you can't fully get them completely killed, and then your damage dealer, and you can have all of those three things be damage dealers as well as, you know, control and strip and all that. But right now I have Mariska just in case they might outspeed me, and this might still not be a win. My Arena teams aren't necessarily the best, but I mean, you can try it out and see if it works or not. So let's do this. I'll go ahead and take her out really quickly. Wasn't able to remove that stone skin, but at least I can go in and try and get rid of some of these champions. Let's take care of this Armas, because he is a pain in the ass. But yeah, as you can see, if you got those things, a lot of the time it's gonna work. Like this team should not be much of a problem. I should not need Mariska at all, so I could replace her for another damage dealer. I could do, again, Lady Mikage, which I have all the way back here because she's not level 60 yet. But this should not be much of an issue for the most part. So I can do this. Nobody has stone skin, so I can just go ahead and try and get rid of their most annoying, which is probably going to be Virgum Car. There you go. Then take care of their speed person. I could do Sung Wukong, but this would probably kill him. I'll still do it. Oh, actually didn't kill. Then we can go ahead and block passive skills. That also will block revive him, basically. Then we can do this. I forget Zinogre has her keep alive skill. But that's fine. This shouldn't be much of an issue. Oh, she's got a free set on her. But as you can see, we were still able to take care of them. Not too much of a problem. With this team, they might outspeed, but I still think this should be decent enough. Again, you can have a support champion that's going to keep them alive better, but we outsped, so there shouldn't be much of an issue. I'll probably take care of their... let's do the Reviver, actually. And then we can steal Mishinaki's turn meter. I could do this. Actually, I will do this skill. She got resisted, but then this will be irresistible, and either way, she got killed. So that's just a really quick look at her in Arena, where I would again recommend her. Is probably her best area, especially because I mean she's got the Arena aura, so they're kind of telling you where they consider her to be the best just by that. But there you go. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, I consider my own account more endgame, but I still don't have ridiculous gear, at least especially when it comes to pure speed. So hopefully this wasn't like a crazy, unobtainable, like stat wise and all that for you guys. Just my recommendation, wherever it is that your account is at, try and give her the most speed you can in relation to your account, and with that she'll be basically at her best build in any area that you're going to use her. So yeah, there you go. I hope you guys enjoy, and hopefully you guys will want to see more videos like this. If you have any recommendation on who I should talk about next, let me know. I'm probably going to continue focusing on the people that I have, especially people that I have built, and people that I have booked and stuff. But if there's anybody that you guys want to specifically see, then let me know and I'll make a video on them. But yeah, until next time, guys. See ya.